Carolina Pickleball Club is a premier organization dedicated to providing a welcoming and competitive environment for pickleball players in Kannapolis. They are passionate about promoting the sport among seasoned players and beginners alike, offering skill-based competitions that challenge and inspire. Go visit our friends at the Carolina Pickleball Club, 724 Chipola Street in Kannapolis, and tell them the Rough Talk cousins at the K-Town Connection sent you.
Some worthless farmland by the county line turned into hope, a dream divine. A mill rose up, a town was born, the whistle blew, that became our norm. They came from miles with calloused hands, tiles were made on these southern lands. A mill town strong, a legacy, the roots run deep as the old oak tree. They said we were finished, our fate at stake, but we stood as one for pity's sake. Held our ground when the whole world shook. Look at us now, just take a look. From the hard-working mill guys in the weave room to the man in black and our wonders too. This town is strong down to its core. Our future dreams, oh, the mill before Kannapolis. You rise evermore. K-Town strong, we stand as one. From the mill to the land, look how far we've come. K-Town pride in every direction. That's the heart of the K-Town Connection.
Guys, here we are back and at it again. Episode number 68 of the K-Town Connection. Got my Rough Talk cousin Ryan, and again, we mentioned he had a baby, so he is on hiatus, a sabbatical for the time being.
Yep.
So once again, we've got David Steele here, keeping the seat warm. David, appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and now my honor to introduce a long time friend of mine. Known this young man long time, and he is a Kannapolis native. Grew up here in town. Worked at Cannon Mills. He's been a fixture at the high school for 40 years, and just done a little bit of everything. So without any further ado, Mr. Don Hines, appreciate you joining us here on the K-Town Connection.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, it's an honor, really is. I follow y'all on you got a website, and you also have a Facebook page, and it's awesome. I'm very honored because I've seen some of the guests that's been on here, and wow, my wife, she said, "Wow, man," she said, "That's an honor, isn't it?" I said, "Well, it sure is." I said, because me and Chris go back to like 1999, and I said, when he called me, I said, "Shoot, yeah, I'll be glad to do that." So
let us tell you, the honor is all ours.
No kidding.
Yes, absolutely.
No kidding. And I know a lot of your history and was a part of some of it, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. But I've kind of heard bits and pieces of different things from different people about you and your time, at the mill and different things like that. So I can't wait to dive in and just get to know more about you. But I guess before we get started, what part of Kannapolis did you grow up in? And give us some of your earliest memories as a child growing up here in Kannapolis.
Well, I grew up in Centerview. That's Sharp Avenue and 211 Sharp Avenue. And we were right there on the street corner, and all the kids, there was probably 12 or 13 young boys my age, when maybe I was 6 or 7 or 8, 9 years old. But we played Old Man Kick the Can and Capture the Flag. And we just had a good old time. And we took it it was an honor to win any of those games. And I was talking to a young man the other day, And he said, "Did anybody ever get hurt in any of them games?" I said, "No." I said, "But in a way we did, but in a way we didn't." I said, "One guy, he got up on the neighbor's house, and we were chasing him around up on the roof, and he goes and runs and jumps off the roof and breaks both of his legs."
Oh, man.
And I said, "Oh, boy."
Somebody probably got a whipping for that happening too.
That's
I
most
guarantee
definitely.
you, but it was a good. We were all real close. We had the street light, so at night we'd all come up there, and Centerview Baptist Church was a block behind us. Well, I'm sad to say that all of us guys were rebuilding the church steeple, and all of us guys being mischievous. We climbed up on the couple ladders, come up on a wooden scaffold, another wooden ladder going up to the roof. So we went up there, and we was walking around. We couldn't put the it was like a 12-inch ceiling tile on down, and you couldn't. Once we got up on the level of the church, you couldn't put it back down because then you couldn't get back down. Well, Don was walking around, and I fell through the opening.
Oh,
No.
I fell 33 feet.
No.
Ronnie Funderburk, he was the oldest, but he wasn't with us. But anyway, he got up there and he measured, and from the time that I went through the opening down to the solid cement floor, it was 33 feet. And the doctor said the only thing that saved me, he said, when you fell through that opening, he said, you hit that wooden ladder and it knocked you out.
man.
He said, it's kind of like a drunk in a car accident. Your body was real limp. So when you fell all the way down and hit that concrete floor,
You just ragdolled. You didn't tense up.
and I even walked home,
Wow.
which was a block away.
Wow.
Wow.
But
Crazy stories back then.
yeah, it's something. I mean, I've and everybody that wants to know why I'm a Christian, and I said, well, if you go further down the road, when I was a senior at A.L. Brown, me and my friend were double dating with our girlfriends, and he ran off the road, 1966, midnight. This was before the cars had latches on the seats. I went from the back seat through the front windshield.
Man. Wow.
The man with 9 lives.
And
No kidding.
that is, and the doctor, he said, well, what saved you? There was a EMT EMT, but he brought his truck home to clean it up, and he said that's the first time he ever done that. I said, no, doctor. I said, that wasn't what saved me. I said, it was the grace of God saved me.
Sure. No doubt.
So, Centerview, I have a lot of memories there, and all of them's good, but those were some tough times. From the time I moved there, I think I was 6, and we moved out when I was 13, I believe it was.
Wow. Chuck, when do you first remember meeting Don, or how long have you known Don?
Oh, let's see. I would have been 8, 10,
Wow.
12, somewhere along in there.
So right around there.
And Frankie would have been he would have been about your age or a year younger.
I think most of the guys you're talking about was with a band called Liquid Heat.
Right. Frankie
they-
Baskins, Ronnie Elwood, Jeff Shin.
Yeah, Bobby Bartz.
Yes, that's
and,
right.
And Butch Bumgardner
That's correct.
played in the drums.
Right.
And I remember when they went up to the Lake Norman Music Hall and entered the Battle of the Bands, and they won.
How about
And-
that?
I would
And,
say that'd be the
most-
mid-'60s, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That sound right?
60s,
And you
John.
graduated Brown, what, 66?
67.
67. What was A.L. Brown like for you back in those days?
Well, it was tough because we had lost every football game to Concord. that 10-game losing streak was from when I was there, even after I left. So it's kind of weird that I went to work for the city of Concord, and during football season, when Concord played Kannapolis, if Concord won, they would be riding me. I said, no. I said, I work for the city of Concord. I said, what do you mean?
You had both sides covered.
Yeah, I had both sides covered. And then when Brown would finally beat them, I was there, and I was riding them, and they said, well, we talked to you last year, and you was talking about, well, it didn't make any difference to you because of you worked here, but you went to school there. I said, well, that was last year.
My mom was actually a senior at Concord the year that they lost.
Man, that was tough. That's the infamous photo.
The photo.
The girl, the cheerleader.
Yes. I remember that well.
Yes.
Being on the chain crew, I met a lot of people, a lot of coaches, and everything. So, those were the days.
We've had some good coaches come through Kannapolis. Excellent.
We sure have.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody mentioned while you were at Brown, you were in the band, right?
Yes, I was in the band. I didn't play any sports exactly. I went out for wrestling, and Bob Malden, he was the wrestling coach, and I made the wrestling team. But my heart's desire has always been working with kids. So the YMCA came and asked me if I would coach the traveling junior team in basketball. I said, well, I made the varsity wrestling team, but I'd rather coach than that. So I told Coach Marlin, I said, well, I'm going to go to the Y and coach these boys. He said, well, we really going to miss you because, in your weight class, you was real good. And I said, okay. Well, he was also the PE coach. So every time we would have PE, we would do wrestling. And my weight group, the guy that took my place when I resigned, so to speak, I'd always beat him. And Coach Malden, he'd be in my case. He would say, "Look, man, you need to give that up. You're a good wrestler, and you beat our guy in the weight group." I said, "Well, I really like working with kids, and so that's what I want to do, and I'm sorry for that." But I did play in the band. Speaking of the band, Dave, in 1964, when I was a freshman, sophomore, we were the first band that would move while we were playing. We played on top of Old Smoky, made a locomotive, and we had a fire extinguisher as a smoke. And we would take a step and then keep playing. So we were the first band ever to move.
That's awesome.
That is a pretty cool story.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's worth the episode right there, Don.
Who was the band director then, Don?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was the band director then?
Harvey Turner and Harold Matheny.
Right.
Wow, Harold Matheny.
And what'd you play?
I was first trumpet, first chair.
How about that? Cool. So you graduated A.L. Brown, 1967. Did you go work at the mill? I know you went in the military for a time. Like, what happened after you left A.L. Brown?
Well, like everybody else, I went into the canning mills, and I started in the distribution center getting up orders.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough job.
It definitely is. And how I got that job, we kind of lived on Boss Man's Road there on Sharp Avenue. It was the houses were a little bit better than some of the neighbors. and the house beside of us became empty, and this guy, he moved in, and he was in the department where he hired the people. And he told me, he said, Don, said, why don't you come to work Kannapolis? Said, you can write your own paycheck with this job. I said, oh man, that's good. Yeah, all right, I'll take it. And then I got up there and it was piecework. So I said, oh no. But I hung out, and then I got drafted. And wow, that was an experience. It was just, number 13 was the draft board. So, and that's where the library's at, down in Concord. Well, we went down there, and they had a bus there, and everybody went in, and just like you always know, the drill sergeants are yakking, do this, do that. So anyway, they said if there's anybody that doesn't think that they should be drafted, go get on this bus, and everybody else get on the other bus. Well, I had not been out of the hospital, maybe a year and a half going through that windshield. So I went and got on the bus, and they took us to Cabarrus Hospital at that time, and they took x-rays, and we come back, and they said, all right, y'all go ahead and get back on that other bus. I said, well, what if they find something? Well, if they do, they'll let you know.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
We'll get back with you.
And, it's, Vietnam was hot and heavy. They were taking everybody. Sure. Well, when I got to boot camp, my back was so bad I couldn't go on the trips. And so they kept me in a special unit. And then after I finished the boot camp, they sent me to Fort Rucker, Alabama. And I was going to be in supply. 76Y20 was my MOS. And I got there, and I went first. I was in there with the rest of the recruits. And when they had roll call the next morning, the first day, they didn't call my name. And I said, well, y'all didn't call my name, Don Hines. Well, you're permanent party here. You're supposed to be, you can't sleep out in the barracks. You have to go upstairs, so you got a room. Well, okay. So I spent 2 years down at Fort Rucker, Alabama.
I'm looking here on my list of some things to talk with you about, and the one that had kind of piqued my interest in I just kind of want to learn a little bit more about was the softball with Cannon Mills. I mean, that was such a big time. I grew up in that time, and I knew about some of those travel teams and how big the softball was. Tell us a little bit more about that.
The first softball team that was a travel team was the distribution center. And in 1976,
oh, wow, you got a patch.
Wow.
We were the state champions that year. So, as everybody probably knew about the softball for Cannon Mills, they had a morning league, men and women. They had an evening league, the men and women. So the distribution center, we kept beating everybody so bad, they said, y'all don't need to be in here. Y'all need to do something. Well, the electric shop had a pretty good team too. So that's how the Cannon Mills team became the Cannon Mills team. We combined those two teams, and we had tryouts and things for the couple positions that was open. I was the pitcher, and really getting up orders helped me up the middle, because when the ball would come up through there, my hands were so quick from grabbing them packages and everything, I could stop any ball that come up through there. And we were we were playing in a tournament down in Spartanburg with the Marshall Tucker Band was hosting. And when we pulled up there, some guy said, "Y'all still got that guy that's a pitcher? He's a human vacuum cleaner." I said, "That's me." They said, "Man, so nobody's ever got anything by you there." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that, but I said that just comes with the territory, I guess."
You remember those games, Chuck?
Yes. Who were some of the guys? Name some that were on the team.
Well, when we first started, I tried out for second base, and Gene Vinoy, he came out. He wasn't even play. He worked for the one of the departments. I think it was the distribution center, but he didn't play on a team. But he came out, and he was way better than I was at second base. So I said, "Well, we ain't got a pitcher. I think I'll go try pitching." So I went there, and and I made the team as a pitcher. And Gene Vinoy played second. Cameron Driver played first base. He was one in the electric shop. Shortstop was Terry Maxwell, and third base was Robert Ward.
Robert Ward.
Yeah, Gerald Smith was catcher, and I was the pitcher. The outfield, we had Tommy Mills. Let's see, who else we have out there? See,
remember them like it was yesterday.
I remember Gerald Smith. I played ball with his boy, Gerald.
Charlie Klein. And
Charlie Klein, he was a great athlete.
Yeah, Charlie was great.
Sure was. His son was a big timer at South Rowan. I think Charlie was too.
Yeah, he was.
Sure was.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
60s.
And we were like a family. I mean, when we would travel, we all the wives went and the children went. I wasn't married, but sometimes I would take my girlfriend, and we played a lot of tournaments. But sad to say, we did not win a state championship.
Oh.
Now, ASA was big ball back then. A new group come in called USSSA.
Mm-hmm.
And since we hadn't ever won anything in ASA, we talked to the commissioner, and there was in Virginia, there was the World Tournament. And at that time, I had been hurt. I'd hurt my shoulder, and I wasn't on the team at that time. It was the year after I got injured. And they went up there and finished second place in the World Tournament. And it was... I wish I could have been there. And another outfielder is one of my best friends now, is Steve Thomas.
Oh yeah.
And Steve made all world.
Oh.
When he talks about that the all world tournament up there.
Show us some of the plaques that you brought and tell us what they represent that are laying in front of you.
No hitter, USSSA.
Wow.
How in the world can a slow pitch pitcher pitch a no hitter?
How'd you do it?
He had good fielders.
Yeah, but they didn't have. I mean, if a pitcher in the major leagues now pitches a perfect game, it's the pitcher.
Yeah.
I could not figure out how in the world that I did pitch a no hitter, but how I got credit for it. And they say that I'm in the USSSA Hall of Fame in Ohio, but not as an inductee, just for
The feet. The
no hitter.
yeah. Man, that's pretty cool.
And then I got a patch when we went up to. I was actually helping them coach when they went up to the World Series there in Virginia.
I know I've known you for 25 or so plus years due to sports, and obviously you've got a lot of connection to sports, and you've done a lot with sports. We'll certainly get to your stint with A.L. Brown because, that brings in the whole football angle. But there's one question I have here, that I'm sure we're going to get some good laughs out of, because this is the part of you I knew about, but I don't know about. I want to learn about Hines the
I was going
Comedian.
to say, I think this is the one I've been waiting on. I'm curious about the comedian.
Well, I got a little Kannapolis story on that also. This picture here is Superman, but he's all decked out in safety gear. And when the safety department found out I was a stand-up comic at one time, and now in my earlier years I'm a sit-down comic because I can't stand up. But they found out that, and they worked with me, and they said, well, why don't you be a safety man instead of Superman? And I said, okay. So they rented. I went up to Morris's costume place in Charlotte and got Superman costume, and so the contest was local, and then I won the Kannapolis one, and I got to go to the regionals, which was at the Speedway Club, and there was maybe 13 different industrial companies were there. I finished second 3 years in a row, and it tickles me because we'd all be back there getting ready to do our performances, and they was all nervous. I said, well, look, just look at the person that you know and think you're talking to them and everything. I said, that'll ease your mind and all. So I did finish. I never won because the winner, they had 4 winners around the state to go do the safety talk and everything. Well, being a comedian is kind of, it's an ordeal because how it started, there was a man who lived in Detroit, Michigan, named Lionel Norman. He was a production engineer for the TV station there. Well, Bill Cosby was having a Ford commercial. And when he came out, he said, where's my backup? And they said, well, Mr. Cosby, we didn't know that you needed a backup. He said, I need a backup every time I do anything. So he goes off and Lionel starts mocking him. And he turns the corner and he looks, he said, there's my backup. So Lionel done all the Ford commercials with him as a backup. The movie Mother Jugs and Speed, he was his backup there also. So he moved to Charlotte, and actually, Cosby told him, said, you need to get in front of more people. At that time, there was only 2 comedy clubs. That was one in New York and one in California. And Lionel had been on Merv Griffin and Johnny Carson and all that stuff, so he was up the ladder. So when he moved to Charlotte, he got a job with Channel 3 as production engineer, and he opened up a place called the Comedy Inn, the Comedian or the Comedy Inn, ever how you want to look at it.
Oh, wow.
So
cool play on words.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So it was in the Providence Square Shopping Center, and I always, around growing up and everybody, I always telling jokes and things, and so they told my friend, said, why don't you go and audition? And I said, okay. I said, I'll do that. And so on Wednesday night was audition night, and if you get up and audition, your table got a free pitcher of beer. So,
That's worth the audition right there.
yeah. So anyway, on Thursday, Friday and Saturday night, they only they just opened up just normal, and so once we got 6 people that auditioned that they liked, we started the Comedy Inn Review. So if you really look at it, I'm one of the first 6 people that started comedy in Charlotte.
Wow.
Well,
What year was this?
1980.
Wow.
And so after we done the comedy, it got started with the 6. We started Wednesday night. We still had to be approved. I had an agent and things like that, and we still had a job to do there, I guess you'd say. Anyway, if I had something new that I was going to do, I had to do it on Wednesday night, and my agent had to approve of it. But as we've collected, we end up with 12 people, so we started doing the comedy in review on Fridays and Saturday nights. And Lord mercy, it was a packed house. The fire marshal had to lock the door down, not lock the door, but stop people coming in.
Isn't that something?
And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And a lot of people in the I was with the instrument department. I think I left that out after when I did come back.
The instrument department at the mill?
Yes, sir.
What is that, by the way?
Working on, I guess you'd say, controls.
Oh, okay.
Everything was pneumatic back then.
Gotcha. I got it. Like on the machines and different things.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And it was it helped me. So anyway, I would do my new material on these guys I was working with, and they liked it. And my forte was Spoonerism. Did you guys know what Spoonerism is?
We need a demonstration.
Okay, I'll tell you the story of Cinderella, and it's Spoonerism is like if you take the C off of Chris and the H off of Hughes, your name would be His Cruz. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story of Render Sella. Once upon a time, in this car infantry, there lived a beautiful Brentress, and her name was Render Sella. Render Sella lived with a mugly other and 2 sad blisters. Well, this hung and prancing Yentz, he was having this fancy fall. So he invited the people from Riles to Mound, especially the pitch reaper, the one that had mozzolani. Well, Render Sella, she couldn't go to this fancy fall because she didn't have nothing in there. So she just kept down and stride. Well, there appeared before her Gary Mudfutter. And he touched her with his magic man and said, Render Sella, be sure to be home for 9 minutes or I turn you into a tumpkin. So Render Sella goes to this fancy fall and this kick hoke and hick white sources. So when she arrived at the fancy fall, this hung and prancing Yentz, he was hiding behind this wooden hinder. And when he seen how wire she fuzz, they let him fuff. And then danced the light until night mid. Well, suddenly the mid-clock struck night, and Render Sella spaced down the rares, as just as she beats the rottum, she slopped her dripper. So the next day, this hung and prancing Yentz went all over looking the car infantry for the beautiful Brentress who had slopped her dripper. So he finally made it to Render Sella's house, and he tried to slash Gipper on the 2 sad blugly isters, but it fitting did. So he tried to slash Gipper on a mugly other, and it fitting did either. But as the gory stows, he tried to slash Gipper on Render Sella, and it fit did. So the story of the Maury is, if you want to meet up with any hung and prancing Yentzes, don't forget to slop your drippers.
Oh, we'll see you next week.
Hey. That's it.
That's it right there.
No, man. Hey,
Clip it.
Hey, be careful what you ask for next time. Hey, I can only imagine now. Rough Talk Ryan's going to watch this, and he's going to be like, what in the heck were y'all doing when I left?
What is going on?
Well, not but a chair on my hand, puffing, huffing, hosing blossom.
Oh, me.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. When my son was born, I was traveling from Kannapolis there on Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, and I my son was born, so I couldn't travel anymore. So we didn't actually get paid except on Thursday night. They had heavyweight night. We would work an hour and we would get paid. But Lionel would take one of us, which I'd left before this happened. He would take one of the comedians to New York to the Comedy Store and let them perform up there. But I never did. But I was some good times there.
Wow. Wow. No doubt. Hey, Don, we could talk for another 2 hours, but I feel like you're the jack of all trades. You're good at just a little bit of everything. And looking at this sheet of all the different accomplishments and things you've done in your life, I want to transition a little bit forward. I know the last 40 plus years you've been heavily involved in sports, and we've kind of hit on that with your softball and your coaching in high school and things like that. But I want to understand how you got to become the head of the chain crew for the football team at A.L. Brown. Like, how did that all come in place?
Good question. Well, the original chain crew back in 1982 that I joined, Jerry Bradley.
Well,
Jerry was the captain, and they had 12 guys. And each 6 done a half, first half, second half. You had your box man, which I got that nickname box man because that's first down, second down, third down, fourth down. And then you have 2 guys that does the clips, and then 2 guys that run the pole for each 10 yards.
Explain the clip for the person that may not know.
Okay, clip is when there need to be a measurement, the guy with the clip from the back before the box is put down, the first 5-yard marker, the guy will put the clip down there.
And it just clips to the chain.
Yes, sir.
So the referee knows where to put the...
Exactly. If they need a measurement, they would come over and pick up the poles and the clip and take it out, and they would put it down and they would measure. Okay, two, we had a spare, a guy, because when you move and there was a first down, instead of having to take that one up and then putting down another one, it took too much time. So the second guy would go ahead and clip the yard marker, and then the other guy would take it off, and they would just do that. Now, a little funny story, I done the chain crew for the Shrine Bowl for 3 years. And the Graham chain crew had been doing it for years. So when I got there, I said, "How many clips y'all running?" And they said, "What do you mean? We don't have but 1 clip. What do you mean 2 clips? We ain't never heard of that." And I said, and then I had to explain to them, why they had 2, but we didn't. We only had 1, so that was an ordeal. That was probably the last time I seen Coach Massey before he passed away. He was with the North Carolina team, the practice squad. He come running down there and spoke to me and everything. Ron was real nice to me the whole time. I guess you'd say I was like the captain. I done all the reporting and everything, and talking to MC and when he was AD.
You have a plaque right there as well from the school, I believe.
Absolutely. After I kept counting down, I said, been here 39 years, 38 years, 39 years. I said, this year when we started, I'll be here 40 years. All righty, so the Concord game come up, and they said, at halftime, we're going to present you with a plaque for your 40-year service. And about 2 minutes before the end of the first quarter, MC came running over. I said, we're going to do it at the end of the first or second quarter, because everybody at halftime will be in the bathrooms and getting food, but at the end of the first quarter, they'll be in their seats and they can see what's going on. And the plaque, it reads, "To great appreciation to Don Hines for 40 years of service on the sidelines for A.L. Brown football, presented by Kannapolis Booster
How
Club
about that?
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
for 40 years."
Good deal. Good deal. So, I mean, you did that. You know, we're going to brush over some of this just because we could be here another hour. But Dixie Youth Baseball, incredible. Not to mention the softball. But then where I really got to know you back around 99, 2000 is you started working in the media of covering high school football, something in which I've done also for about 30 years. Just kind of tell us how that came about and give me some, just tell us a little bit about that part of your career.
NC Preps, Arnold Solomon.
I'm glad you mentioned Arnold because he obviously was kind of a godfather to all of us. And, you know, he's still, he's still up in Banner Elk, I believe, with his family. And had a house fire, and and Arnold had not been doing well, but he's a true pioneer.
Arnold always had these pick'em, high school pick'em games. This was before computers or all this kind of. Arnold always had the formulas, and he could pick them. But anyway, I won like the first 6 or 7 years. You had to know the teams real good and everything, and Arnold run it. And so after about 7 years of winning it, Arnold called me. He said, "Look," he said, "everybody says that if you're going to be in the contest, I ain't playing this year." And he said, "But I tell you what," he said, I'll get you some media passes to the state football championship, and you can report back on that." And the first year of that, I can't remember when it was, but we went up to NC State, me and Steve Thomas. He gave me 2 passes.
The Weasel.
Yeah, Weasel. Yeah. And so it was at NC State. So we didn't know where we were supposed to go. So we went over to the Wolfpack Club, and there was food and everything. Oh, we just started pigging out, and we left and had to walk it off because we'd eat so much. And then it was about time for the game to start, so we figured that's where we were supposed to be. So we went up there, and the guy says, "You can't get in here." I said, "What do you mean? We've been in there eating." "Well, that's probably the reason we're about out of food." So I said, "Well, anyway, where are we supposed to be?" I showed him our pass. He said, "You're supposed to be up on the 5th floor of the press box." Everything went fine. We knew we was in the right place. So I done a little story for Arnold, and he said, "Well, I can't let you do the pigskin picks again." He said, "You done pretty good." He said, "What if I just you come to work for me?" And at that time, Dina King, who's over it now. She was just like I was, just not a helper, but I don't know what would you call that, Chris? A writer?
Yeah, I guess
like
a writer. Yeah.
So as things went along, I couldn't keep up the work that they were asking to do. So Chris, and there's a guy named Odad. What
Dale Ross.
Dale Ross.
Dale Ross.
They had sites, and I went to work for both of them at separate times. And actually, in 1999, me and Chris and Don Callahan, I think Don Callahan is the UNC Tar Heel media guy for the football team.
Yep.
We started a website called NCHSFfootball.com.
Remember it well. I own that domain name again, finally.
Yes, okay. And me and Chris and Don.
And another guy from Kannapolis here, Chris Puckett.
Yeah, Chris Puckett. Yes.
Jamie Hill. There was a lot of us here.
Yep.
We did, and it worked out good.
And that's a cool relic you got there.
Yes, this is a antique, so to speak, because this is the first memorabilia of any high school websites at all.
Wow.
And every once in a while, I'll stick a picture of it on Chris's site just to let him know.
Just to tease him a
That's
little
pretty
bit.
cool. I like that, Don. Thanks. You got some other doodads. Well, but I see you got some hats, but I also just want to put it out there, and I know we're running long on time. I hope you ain't got to hurry and get to supper. But, well, Sherry will wait. But I just want to also, you also, in addition to all this, you had so many parallel careers. It's just amazing all the balls in the air you were juggling at one time. You're a member of the North Carolina, I think it's the North Carolina American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame.
All right, I'll make it brief. When I was 12 years old, I would walk to the ballpark, and Post 115 would be playing, and I kept the balls and the strikes on the scoreboard. As far as the innings, runs, and everything, it's kind of like Wrigley Field. You had to manually put them up. And I'd done that. I was 12 years old, and I'd done it for several years. And so as far as this American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame, it's for Post 115 because that's where I wanted it to be. Because I for the last 10 years I have been doing the rankings for the whole state. There's 4 areas, and so when the commissioner called me and told me he was going to I've been inducted into the North Carolina Baseball Hall of Fame last year. I said, you got the right guy? But I ain't never played no baseball. And that's a question everybody asks me. How could you be in the Hall of Fame for the baseball? I said, well, I guess you would say it's through my media with them. Because Gary Ritchie for Gary's Barbecue, he's in there. And I'm only the second person in Kannapolis that has made the Hall of Fame. I've got of every one of them with my media. I know from the very first one that done it back in 1962 to when me and the other guy went in this past year. The only other one was Gerald Blackburn.
I remember Gerald well.
He was the coach for the team back then. But they give me a nice plaque. Oh, it's heavy.
It looks it. I can feel it.
That's it. Shook the table.
Man, the American Legion Department of North Carolina Baseball Hall of Fame, Don Hines. Man, congratulations on that.
Yes.
That's incredible.
That is.
An amazing feat.
We'll
That is.
We'll get the
Great
bell on that one.
Well,
Man, well, Don, this has been great. Before I let you go, I know who knows how many thousands of athletic games you've been to in your life, 40 years worth of home games at A.O. Brown. You've worked alongside me a few statewide games. You've seen a lot. What's your greatest sports memory you've ever been a part of or that you've witnessed?
well, that was a question that they asked me about the plaque that they gave me for 40 years. I said, I may have to read this. Don has been on the sideline for over 450 years, JV and varsity football games here at Kannapolis. His most memorable game was the 1990 Wonder comeback victory over Concord.
That's a big one.
So that
was a big one.
Of all that they've done, that I've done, that would be my coup de grace. They did ask me my favorite coach between Boswell that I started with, and then they had Bruce, and then they had Ron, and then
Coach Newsom.
And I told him, I said, well, now that's a bad question to ask me. So to make it short, I said, well, I'm going to break it down into 2. I said, the coach that I thought that had the best halftime adjustments was Harding.
Sure.
I said, but my favorite of all times, I worked a lot closer with him, is Ron Massey.
Yeah.
Great Christian
Great
guy.
man.
He's a good guy.
He was
Incredible
awesome.
man.
Yes.
And he Certainly missed.
Yeah.
Man, it's a great episode. Don, thank you for coming
Yes,
on.
thank you so much.
I know I've known you since I was a much younger guy, and you were a much younger guy.
Absolutely.
I remember you picking me up at my old house on China Grove Road
Yes,
30 years,
Yes.
almost 30 years ago.
absolutely.
So we've went through some battles together. Kind of had some ups and downs at times. Some of them some of them,
Nothing real serious.
I'll chalk some of it up to youth and growing pains on my end, and we've kind of had a couple little things from time to time, and I apologize for that on my end, but I've always had a lot of admiration and respect for you for what you do, and I'm just so glad you joined us here today, and I just appreciate you, Don
I
Hines.
appreciate your invite.
And
My wife said, "Well, you're in the North Carolina American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame. What about your 40 years that you've had with Chain Crew and things like that?" I said, "I don't know. I'm not one who makes up who gets into Hall of Fames."
Yeah.
She said, "Well, golly, 40 years on the Chain Crew and."
She's your biggest
There
cheerleader.
you go.
Absolutely.
Well, you're in the K-Town Connection Hall of Fame now, and I think that's pretty cool too. But,
Yank through Mary Butch.
but anyway, Don, again, I know we've kind of had some ups and downs, but you mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you coming on here.
Same here.
Thank you very much. Like I said at the first of the program, the pleasure has been all ours. Thoroughly enjoyed.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I've thoroughly enjoyed
David,
getting
nice
to know you.
meet
You as
David.
well.
And I think this may be the funniest episode too. I can't wait to cut that up and put that out there on the internet. It's going to blow it up.
That's going to take off.
You might in your elder years, and I hate to say that, but you might in your elder years get some. You might have to get you a new agent to put you back on the stage. You might go viral.
We might have to have him back just for a comedy edition.
No,
Just for nothing but comedy.
Oh, and before we get out of here, I noticed you brought us a bunch of caps, and you showed them to us before we got on, and we appreciate you bringing it. And anytime we can do show and tell and get some cool stuff and memorabilia in here, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know, as I was saying when I was showing everyone the hats, my Joe Taylor, he's my first cousin. He was pretty high up in security, so he always got these hats and things like that. So he always would give me a bunch of them. And
That's great.
so
Before you get out of here, Ryan, Rough Talk Ryan, he's got an incredible hat collection. You know where he put them at? Go to the bathroom. He hung them up in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a ton of hats in our bathroom.
I saw that.
So that's what he's done for the last week.
Yeah. But man, Don, again, thank you. David, any
Yes, thank
final thoughts from you?
I loved the episode again, Don. It was a pleasure getting a chance to meet you and hear your story, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Full of
I
laughs.
appreciate you being here, David.
Yes, sir.
For Ryan.
Chuck, Dr.
Chuck,
Dave?
you too.
Awesome. Like I said, I knew him since I was just a very, very young man, lost touch over some of the years, but I've known Don for pretty close to 50 years.
Yeah. Well,
He's an awesome today as he was 50 years ago.
known Don, known you a long time. I appreciate you. I love you, man. I had a couple of my good friends, your good friends, that asked about you and wanted me to let you know they're sorry they couldn't make it. John Teal, Biggs, B Tango, and Mike Stoker. You know,
Yep.
want to talk about a good softball player.
I can't believe Mike got married.
I know, I know. But Don, we appreciate it. And
Thank you, sir.
Number
Thank y'all.
68 is in the books.
Yep. Time for Chuck to go home and have some dinner.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sherry's
Hear
gonna
my
be mad
stomach
at you.
rolling.
Woo, 3 for Dale.
Your premier Ford dealership is located here in Cabarrus County, where more than 70 years in the business lends to an incredible experience for every customer, every time. Whether you're looking for the toughness of an F-150, the spirit of a Bronco, or the versatility of an Explorer, you'll find it all at Hilbish Ford, your truck destination. Come experience the Hilbish difference in Kannapolis, just a 10-minute drive from Charlotte Motor Speedway, or get started online at hilbishford.com.
There ain't a 68. That's why.
Yes, sir, he
Or
is.
is it?
68.
Oh,
up there at the roundabout in
That's
China
right.
Grove.
That's right. I forgot about that. I was thinking that's 70, but that's Webb Road.
That's true. Webb Road is 70.
Cool.
Good tacos at Webb Road Flea Market.
Hadn't been there in years. All right.
Webb Road Flea Market is the best people watching destination to go.
Yeah.
You just sit there on one of them benches and watch people and be like, wow.
And eat those
You'd
fresh.
be like,
Walmart.
oh man, it's worse. It'd be like, you wore that in public?
I'm telling you, get there a little bit before the taco place opens. Get you, chicken tacos. Like you said, go sit out on the bench.